Hello everyone, and welcome to this pick a card reading where I am just giving spirit and our spirit guides full reign on whatever messages they want to come through. I have 3 piles for you here today. We have pile number 1 with this pyramid. I'm not exactly sure what crystal it is. And then we have this dolomite squirrel for pile number 2. And for pile number 3, we have this amethyst. So I'm going to give you a few moments here now to choose whichever pile is standing out to you the most. If you're having issues and it's not clear, then I really recommend taking a few breaths, trying to quiet your mind, and then re-looking at these piles. You may be drawn to more than one pile. That just means there's messages for you in both. And as always, please use your intuition to discern which messages are for you and which are not, as this is a general reading and not everything will resonate. All right, if you've chosen your pile, then there are timestamps below if you want to jump straight into it. If you need more time, feel free to pause. But let's go ahead and see what Spirit has to say today. Hello, pile 1. What do you need to hear today? Let's go ahead and take a look at the cards. We have the 7 of Stars, which is the 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Crystals, which is the 7 of Swords, and then the 6 of Wands. With the 7 of Crystals and the 7 of Stars, followed by the 6 of Wands, I'm kind of getting like running away from a situation that you once liked. So it could be, for example, like the first thing I'm getting in mind is moving from the city to the countryside, almost like running away from a situation where you have a lot of eyes on you or you have a lot of people around you to a more calm and peaceful situation. That's the first thing I'm getting. The second thing I'm getting is also I said running away, but it's not like you're running away scared. It's almost like you're running away with what you gathered from that situation to move on to something better and something new, something that you can really invest your time in. It would also be like going from like a job where you do it because you like the money versus actually going and pursuing a career that you really love and pursue. This is kind of the energy I'm getting here with the 7 of Crystals in the center of your reading, followed by the 7 of Stars and the 6 of Wands, because you can see she's kind of looking back at this 6 of Wands situation where she was pretty high up, pretty top of the game, but it's not what she wanted exactly. So, and she wasn't necessarily happy there, and that's why she's taking what she can from that situation so that she can go and she can plant them in the 7 of Stars, into something that's with more longevity and that's more fruitful for her, something that's going to give her more fulfillment as well. If we go just by the images, sorry, I'm just taking a sip of my coffee. But now if we were to go by traditional meanings, then we can delve deeper into this. So with the 7 of Crystals, this is almost like a strategic getaway. You can see in the figure here, you know, she found these crystals just laying here. She looked both ways, made sure nobody was watching her, and ran and grabbed them, grabbed what she wanted. And I feel like that's currently what you're doing. You're kind of picking up and moving away from something that maybe perhaps you thought you wanted, or that you were just doing because that's what you had to in the moment. Anything like that, you're now picking up and leaving, or you're thinking about picking up and leaving. And that's the message that's coming through here today for you, pile one. And it seems like you put a lot of time and energy into whatever this is, but now you're seeing that it's really time to move on and do it proudly. With the Six of Wands coming out here, it's almost saying like, do it proudly, do it without regret. Make sure you're taking everything with you that you want and that you'll need, and you're not going to regret leaving anything behind. Let's go ahead and get some more messages here. Teach, inspire others, and let nature be your greatest teacher. That's interesting. Maybe you're moving from actually doing something, like with a job or something, to teaching it. And then we have here, cleanse. Wash your weary spirit clean and take a walk in the wooded glades. Yes, definitely cleansing yourself from something. Even reminds me of this, the water coming down from her when she's watering this plant. Cleansing something from your life. You know, another thing I'm getting with the Seven of Crystals and the Seven of Stars is almost a yearning for something else here, but feeling like you have spent so much time and energy with the Seven of Stars into fostering an environment that really suits you. But now you're seeing other things that you could potentially want, but it's almost like you have so many stakes in this one thing that it's difficult for you to go out and pursue this other thing. If you can see by the pictures as well, because like her entire body is going towards the Seven of Stars. And Seven of Stars is a card where it's like things that it's things that we've really invested our time into, and we're wondering, you know, is this really what I wanted, or is this really worth it? And with and so with the imagery here, it's almost like you're looking towards something new, something else that you wanted, but you feel tied down by this thing that you already have. Maybe one more here for the Six of Wands. We have grounded. Keep to your roots and stand taller than the trees. And I'm getting the message here that you can have both, pile one. You don't have to pick and choose. You can have both, but you may have to sacrifice some time with this other thing in order to pursue the other ones, but you can definitely have both. Look, underneath the deck we have path. Wander on the path less traveled. What you find might surprise you. And yeah, and I feel like what's going to surprise you is that you can definitely have both of these. It's just going to be about managing your time, and then also managing what you give your energy to, redirecting, reprioritizing certain things, rearranging certain things in your life strategically so that you can pursue both of these things simultaneously. And with the Six of Wands, it's like if you pursue this new thing, you're definitely going to succeed, because the Six of Wands points towards victory and success in whatever you pursue. So let's get another card here. I'm going to be a crown chakra with blue lace agate divinity. Recognize the divine in the mirror. Yes, and recognize that the people that you look up to and the things that you admire, you admire that because there's some part of you that also has that trait. So real recognizes real, you know? Underneath that we had the sacral chakra with the carnelian and letting go. Letting go is not giving up. Sometimes it is the first step towards success. Yeah, and it makes me think like, you know, you've put so much effort into this other thing that it can stand on its own now. It can grow on its own. You don't need to tend to it as much as you did in the past when it was still just like a seedling and you had to make sure it was getting enough sunlight, make sure you were watering it every day. And now you can kind of just leave it be and go towards other things with the Seven of Crystals. You don't need to hold on to these crystals and bring it back because this thing can grow on its own now. It's kind of like letting go of a child because they can walk on their own, or maybe some sort of like business can now generate passive income, things like that. So you can go work on other things, right? And that's why with the divinity and letting go, it's kind of like letting go of the urge or the instinct to keep putting time and energy into this thing when it doesn't necessarily need it at the moment, and putting it towards other new things that are going to bring you some more fulfillment and some more experiences and joy. And that's why it's going to be important to ground and cleanse right now, because perhaps you have a lot of fears and worries when it comes to this thing that you've already built, or you've already nurtured, that it's going to fall away or disintegrate if you're not there to take care of it, when that's not necessarily the truth. Because with teach, inspire others, and let nature be your greatest teacher, nature, the earth, if humans weren't here to take care of the earth, it would still grow on its own. It might even grow better, actually, because a lot of humans are destroying the earth. But that's another topic. But for teach, so it's like, let nature be your greatest teacher. Nature doesn't need some caretaker taking over it, right? Mother Earth can just be and flourish without any outside help. And I feel like that's kind of what this situation is. It's like it doesn't need any more help from you in order to flourish. And that's why you're being asked to move on to something that you have been wanting to do. This isn't like moving into something that you have no idea what to do. I feel like there's something on your mind that you've been wanting to do, but you feel like you don't have enough time to do it, or you don't have enough resources in order to do it because you're taking care of this other thing. And this is spirit coming in and saying, you can let this go. You don't have to keep coddling it almost. It can grow and flourish on its own, and you can go after this new venture that you would like, and you're going to be successful in it with the Six of Wands as well. Let's get another card here, some more details, what you need to know right now, pile work. We have go the distance in reverse with 47. So that's 11. Were you to reduce it down? So you may be seeing 1 1s a lot. Actually, I just realized, let me put these up a bit more for you guys so you can see them and read them. So hopefully by the next video, I will have a bigger table so that you guys can see the full spread and I don't have to sort of clump them around here. But yeah, with go the distance, that's interesting that go the distance comes out in reverse. Because just right off the bat, were I to just look at this card, let me flip it over. It's like you're right at the finish line of something. You're right at the finish line of something, but you're not sure if it's worth it. You're not sure if it's going to make you happy, fulfill you, if the investment you're putting into it is going to, if you're going to receive that same energy back at some point. But here with the Six of Wands, this is pointing towards the fact that you will. And if you don't feel like it, that's where this divinity comes in, because maybe you're second guessing yourself when it comes to something. That's why it's important for you to definitely remain with this grounded cleanse and divinity. It's like there's something blocking your vision right now when it comes to seeing the end of the road, the finish line of something. Kind of that metaphor of like it's always darkest right before dawn. I'm getting a much clearer picture here. So even if there's not something else you're pursuing, this is really just a message that to be very cognizant of where you're spending your energy right now, because I feel like maybe you have been feeling a bit low energy, or you're just putting a lot of energy into one thing and not seeing those same results back to you. And that's why this is an important time for you to be very selective in where you expend your energy and who you give your energy to and what you give your energy to. And that's why it's also important for you to be cleansing your energy, because certain people or things can also drain you, and this is a time to be cleansing those things and cut them off for good. And then also with grounding, it's almost like recognizing where you can replenish your energy as well, and what replenishes you. Because with Go the Distance in reverse, it talks about how when you're in the desert and you see hills of sand all around you, and like I said, no finish line in sight. You don't know when you're going to be getting water next. You don't know when you're going to hit the next town or city or oasis, and so you just have to keep walking. And when doing that, you have to be resilient in that sense, because you need to ration your water, you need to ration your energy, and you need to pace yourself so that you can make it to the next checkpoint or the next area. And I feel like that's what's important for you now, is to pace yourself wherever you're moving towards, whatever you are trying to progress in. It's important for you to take breaks, for you to recognize that you need rest as well. And sometimes when we rest, sometimes when we take breaks, that's when we get the most clarity and the most breakthroughs in that sense. If there's somewhere that you've been feeling stuck, there's something that you're not sure how to move forward in. It's important for you to be strategic with your resources right now, essentially, with the 7 of crystals and the 7 of stars. Let's get another card here for you. Messages from Spirit, from your spirit guides, on what you need to know right now. Nothing is yet set in stone. Under that, we have the answers you need are coming with Full Moon and Gemini. Yeah, the answers you need are definitely coming, but nothing is yet set in stone. Things are still changing. Things are still happening beneath the surface that you probably can't yet see. And that's why if you're feeling a bit stagnant right now, you're feeling a bit stuck, it's because there's still things happening beneath the surface. That's why it's important that you don't waste your energy on things that you're not necessarily seeing any results from. That's a message to take a step back, take a bit of a break, and then come back refreshed with a clearer head. So yeah, if there's something that you're working towards that you're not seeing progression in, you're not seeing momentum, and you kind of want to maybe give up, this is actually a message for those of you specifically that relate to that's not a sign. The lack of progression is not a sign to give up. Nothing is yet set in stone. This is kind of just a message to pivot how you're approaching this, or take a step back, take a break, and that's going to give you clarity on how best to move forward. Because right now it's kind of like you keep trying for something, or you keep pushing for something and nothing's happening, and it may leave you frustrated. It may leave you wanting to just say, maybe you think that it's not for you, or it's never going to happen because nothing's happening. And that's not necessarily the truth. There's just a lot of things happening beneath the surface and it just hasn't come together yet. But I feel like once it does, you're going to get a lot of forward momentum with 6 of Wands, and then Go the Distance coming out with this cheetah. It's like you're on the last home stretch of something and you almost want to stop, but this is a message to keep going for sure. Let's get some more cards from here. Okay. We have here perspective that came out. None of this matters. Zoom out. Common ground. Yes, definitely taking a step back is going to give you a whole new perspective on this. And then we have I'm sorry underneath that. Defenseless, righting past wrongs, uprooting. This kind of reminds me of the grounding card as well. So definitely taking a step back from something, perhaps maybe by spending more time in nature, can definitely help you get clarity. I know that's like advice that comes out a lot, but it's for a reason. Because when you go out into nature, you can see how things naturally function, and that what's happening right now is not necessarily something that's unnatural or a message for you to sort of like give up or something. It's teaching you something here. It's teaching you resilience. It's teaching you patience. It's teaching you persistence, determination. Like, do you really want this? Keep going if you really want this. But here we have your card that's perspective. And I feel like definitely taking a step back, taking a break, or just trying a new way to approach something that maybe you haven't been seeing the desired results is definitely going to help you gain more clarity on it. Let's get another card from this deck. I don't use this deck that often, so I may show you or read from you the guidebook if I feel like it could really, if some of you might want to hear it. I absolutely love the shine on these cards. They're so pretty. Okay, we have here the Wildling. This kind of reminds me of the Two of Swords straight off the bat. So what I was picking up on earlier about making a decision, maybe it's not making a decision on like two things. It could be making a decision on whether to keep going or to just stop and move towards somewhere else, right? Or go back towards something else. This is a message saying, no, you got this. Keep going. If you really want this, then it's going to turn out. It's just a matter of being strategic and adapting, being adaptable, flexible, and taking necessary breaks when you feel like nothing's turning out, because sometimes it's like you would have saved time by just stopping for a second and pivoting rather than keep trying to do the same thing over and over again if you're not necessarily getting the same result, the desired results that you want. But let me go ahead and just read this for you from the guidebook. Important to note that it's the last card, just interesting. So we have here, pulling the Wildling card indicates a time to connect to the most primal parts of yourself. This may mean you need to detach a bit from people around you so you can hear the whispers of your deepest knowing without the influence of others, for sure, with the Divinity card. And then the Six of Wands, the Seven of Crystals, maybe there's a lot of people around you giving you their opinions on what to do. And that stops you from being able to discern your own like intuitive hits and things. So definitely a big message if that resonates for you. The Wildling is raw, empowered, and independent. Many people are intimidated by them because they need little from others and prioritize radical freedom, which can be unsettling as most of society operates within unspoken expectations and contracts. The Wildling burns the contract and heads into the woods. That reminds me of this whole thing about going out in nature and things like that. So maybe you want to branch out on your own when it comes to something, but you're a bit afraid of like what people are going to think, or you're just hesitant about that. And this is a message saying, or maybe you're not. And that's another message. Wildling comes to us as an ally when we need to break free of the systems that limit us. The Wildling within us remembers a time where we lived with the land, when we walked barefoot, when our lives were in alignment with the natural world. Walking barefoot on grass, dirt, soil, things like that might help you feel a lot better too. Wildling is a call for remembrance. A good way to invoke Wildling is to dive deeper into our body and hear what it needs from us on our most primal level. A balanced wildling prioritizes freedom but remains grounded. Interesting. They possess an instinct that may not make sense to others but never leads them astray. And that also reminds me of this divinity card. Like, trust yourself. You guys need to trust yourself. They are present to their own emotions and needs and will spend time on their personal development. An unbalanced wildling is in a state of perpetual chaos. They are avoidant and often use the external for a band-aid of their internal disease. Dis-ease. Actually, dis-ease. So a lack of ease, basically. A lack of easiness. Which often means they're constantly moving on to the next thing. When they move on to never ends up, what they move on to never ends up being what they hoped for. Wow, that's really interesting. I feel like there's a lot of different messages in this pile, but this card kind of summed them up all very nicely. Probably better than I did. But yeah, so there's kind of like a pull within you between two different directions, between your comfort, what you already have, what society expects, and then freedom and independence and authority of your own life. And I feel like another message with perspective then in relation to the wildling card is kind of like realizing that society is not the end all be all in that sense. Society is not always right. Society is not always what you need. And then also realizing how society or societal influences, cultural influences, your family, the people around you, your community, how maybe they perhaps have been holding you back in some way or preventing you from expressing your true independence, authenticity, freedom, what you want, things like that, in order to stay in this sort of box. Yeah, Pal One, this is definitely a message to fight for your freedom, fight for what you want deep down. And also, if you are somebody that has been, like they mentioned at the bottom of that message, moving on from like a bunch of different things, maybe it's like either you get bored of them or they don't work out, so you just move on to the next thing. This is a message to really just stop for a second and commit to one path, and don't let it be a path that others choose for you. Let it be a path that you choose for yourself. And that's why it's important for you to kind of get away from other people's opinions and thoughts about it, metaphorically or literally, whether it's going into a very secluded place and just thinking about it. We have gentleness that came out. I speak with gentleness and I listen with gentleness. I align with the gentlest part of myself and I take joy in being receptive, open, and unafraid. I am like a baby deer who's best friends with a baby elephant. The baby elephant wraps its little trunk around my shoulders and we lie down gently on the grass, daydreaming and talking about what sorts of humans clouds look like. Definitely treat yourself with gentleness. A message here to approach whatever has you feeling stuck or restricted or has just been on your mind a lot, to treat it with gentleness. And that's where you're going to find the most success. But thank you so much for watching Pile 1 and letting me read for you today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, if you chose the Dolomite Squirrel, then this pile is for you. Let's go ahead and look at what you need to know right now. We have the Page of Cups in reverse, Six of Stars upright, and then the Five of Crystals. And then just to clarify, the stars is pentacles, so this is the Six of Pentacles, and then crystals are swords, so this is the Five of Swords. First thing I'm getting here, Pile 2, and it may not resonate for everybody, but I'm getting a sense of hoarding just from looking at this Five of Crystals. And I feel like this is because in the past, you may have given away a lot of things freely. So now you're kind of, and you've gotten hurt from it, you've gotten burned from it, so now you're kind of holding on to things instead of giving them away so freely. And this could be something material like money, but it also could be ideas, it could be creations, it could be your own energy. Specifically, being very particular about who you give your energy to and who you give your time to, because I feel like you know how valuable it is. You recognize the value in what you have, and that's why you don't give it away freely, and you're very particular about who you give it to, because you're only giving it to people that are going to receive it well and honor it and understand it, understand what you're doing by doing that. And then who are going to, they don't necessarily always have to give it back in equal amount, but they have to at least honor it and recognize what it is that you're doing, and how much of a privilege it is. I feel like you're really recognizing your power, almost your value, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting message that's coming out right away. And I'm getting very specifically, this is in regards to other people rather than like certain situations or projects or things like that, which it could be for some of you, but for majority of you, I'm getting this is people. You're being very discerning on what you give to other people, what information you give them, what ideas you give them, who you show your creations to, who you share your ideas with, because perhaps maybe in the past people have like copied them or stolen them or something like that. So now you're kind of hoarding them. And the advice here from your spirit guides, from spirit, is that that's okay to do. Don't feel guilty if you don't feel comfortable sharing certain things with other people. However, make sure there's a bit of a balance here where you're not overly protective of certain things when you don't necessarily need to be. Try to recognize who you can trust, who's not going to take advantage of certain things that you allow them, certain privileges that you give them, because they definitely exist out there. Because sometimes when you're too closed off, you almost block yourself from certain things that can come in that would be beneficial, that would allow you to share certain burdens or share certain ideas, and perhaps even build upon those ideas so that you can create something new. We have a lot of cards to get through, so let's go ahead and get some of these. Here we have a wish. Make a wish with a dandelion in the wind. So perhaps certain dreams you have, certain goals, and that's specifically what you're holding back from telling other people for good reason. I will say this. Definitely no argument there, because you don't always want to be sharing what you're trying to reach for to certain people that may not necessarily understand. Look, here we have friends. The most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichens on hard rock. They create a tight bond. And then we also had music that came out as well. Yeah, so maybe sharing maybe you're a musician and you've stopped sharing certain songs with people that you felt didn't get you. Certain friends, you may have felt betrayed by certain friends in the past. If you're being very discerning of who you give your friendship to. But like this card does say, it says the most unlikely friendships can form, in the sense of you don't always have to be so guarded. Not everybody is out to get you in that sense. And so it's important now for you to be able to discern who is on your side and who is not. Because you can see in this picture, look at when we go from the 6 of stars to the 5 of crystals, it's like these people are begging for this person's stars, right? Their attention, their time, their finances. It can be anything in this spread. They're reaching for it, and she's giving it out freely. And then we move to the 5 of crystals. These same people, you can see they're wearing very similar outfits. They're kind of in despair because you're holding all these crystals and not giving them any. And when then we have the scale here, so it's kind of like maintaining that balance of, yes, it's definitely okay to not share certain things with certain people because not everybody has your best interests at heart, but you also don't want to be too closed off because that's going to stop you from meeting certain people and being in certain situations that are actually going to be to your benefit, that will help you attain certain wishes and dreams and goals. So let's get one more. Oh. But yeah, you definitely are recognizing your worth right now, your value, and the value of ideas and what you bring to certain relationships. And I am happy for you. Being very protective of your time and your resources. That's always a good thing. We have light. Look to the space between the trees for answer. And with light, I feel like one of the ways you're going to be able to tell certain people apart that have your best interest versus those that don't is how you feel around them. Look, we have uncertainty beneath. The shades of gray within the fog will eventually lift, and that's almost like the opposite of light, where light is like it's clarity. So yeah, one of the ways, as I was saying, one of the ways you're going to be able to tell is how you feel around them. If you feel very light around them, you don't feel a heavy energy, you don't feel drained after you interact with them, then that's definitely a message that that person is not like those that in the past that may have drained you, taken advantage of you, betrayed you. Because for some of you, pile 2, there's something that wants to come into your life, but it's having a bit of a hard time because I feel like because maybe some of you aren't sure who is a friend and who is not. You can't tell your friends from your enemies just yet. And so you're taking the safe route and just saying everybody is an enemy, right? And that's valid for sure. But I feel like soon you're going to be able to tell who's who has your best interests in mind and who doesn't, with light coming out here. As time progresses, people are going to start showing their true faces. And so if your instinct is to hide away, is to not show anybody anything, then that's your instinct, right? I'm not going to tell you open up to certain people or not. You're going to be able to tell who is safe and who is not. And that's kind of like a skill you're developing right now. So even if it's not people, right now you're developing the skill to learn what spaces are productive for you or not, what spaces are healthy for you or not, what foods are healthy for you or not. You're really learning about you're being very discerning about what you allow into your space, into your energy field, your environment, who and what. We have here creativity, throat chakra with Amazonite. Creativity. Use creativity to transform your pain into positivity. Interesting. Reminds me of this 5 of Swords with the Page of Cups. Perhaps you're in a time period right now where you don't feel as creative. You're going through a bit of a creative block. And maybe that's because certain things have happened in your life with certain friends. Here we have underneath the deck, sacral chakra, fertility. Reminds me of creativity. Let your life burst forth from the seeds of creation. Yes. With creativity coming out and this Page of Cups as well, I feel like some of you are definitely using certain past experiences as inspiration. And I feel like certain people may not necessarily like that. Certain people may be telling you off, and that's why you are kind of more discerning on who you share your creations with. Also, kind of like an opposite message, so it's going to resonate for those who resonate with it. If you have been feeling a bit of a creative block, then talking to certain friends that you trust, certain people that you trust about those creations is going to help you kind of work through it, as well as navigating certain past situations that were painful and kind of channeling that pain into your creations with this card as well. It's going to have you feeling lighter. It may also help you see those situations in a different light. So definitely a message here to channel certain emotions. Let certain emotions flow through you and out into a creative endeavor. It can be anything that you like to do. This can be writing, this can be drawing, this can be pottery, anything that allows you to express yourself creatively. Let's get another card here for you. What you need to hear right now, what your spirit guides want to let you know, bring to your attention. There's a card that flipped over. Where is that? Here we go. Number 2 with yin. Yeah, this is a very this card's all about connecting with your divine feminine, and that's also that creative energy, you know. That's where your creative energy comes from. So definitely a message here to focus on connecting with that creative side of yourself, especially if you're somebody that doesn't necessarily feel creative. There's a lot of ways creativity can come out. It doesn't necessarily have to be those typical ones that everybody thinks of. You know, it can be cooking. Cooking is creative. Endless possibilities. There's endless possibilities when it comes to that. But yeah, so if you've been in a creative block recently, definitely a message that you are going to be coming out of it, but it is going to take a bit of work. I feel like it's not going to come out of the blue. You're going to kind of have to get into a certain space, certain energy that's really going to enforce certain energies. I see. What I'm getting is, that if you have been in a certain creative block, or you've been experiencing a lot of painful messages, this is a time to channel that into a creative project. If you've been experiencing a creative block, then this is a time to really get into a receptive energy, and also maybe take a look at certain past situations, perhaps with other people, with other friends, but just in general, anything that's painful in your life right now, and channel it into whatever you're creating, and that's going to help you as well. That's going to help you not only with your creativity and developing it further, but also transforming this certain pain into something that you can look at, something that's physical. Is going to help you a lot in processing that. This card also, just in regards to the divine feminine and everything, is a card of non-action. Some of you may not like hearing that, but it's in the sense of letting certain things come to you, making space for certain things to come to you, rather than going and chasing after them, or taking action to chase after them. But I feel like you're already doing that. For a lot of you, you're already doing this. Already being aware of what is coming into your space, and it's just a question of whether you allow it to come through or not. Allowing others to take action, and that's going to show their true face. Yes. Okay. I'm getting a lot of different messages for this pile as well, which is the same thing for pile 1. It's like, I don't know what's going to resonate for who or what, but I'm just saying what I see. So we'll see how it goes. But another message I'm getting is, if you are like earlier when I was talking about certain, not being able to discern certain people from like with their intentions and stuff. It's, if you want to be able to get better at doing this, improving this, so you can know who to trust, because I feel like for a lot of you right now, you're not sure who to trust, so you're just keeping a lot of things close to your chest. If that sounds like you, then this is a message that that's exactly what you should be doing right now. But if somebody comes to you and shows their true face, and that true face is somebody that can be trusted, that somebody does have your best interests at heart and cares about you, then that means it's time to open up, right? I feel like you've been hurt a lot in the past, and that's why it's kind of takes a bit for you to trust people, and that's okay. That's okay if people have to come and earn your trust. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you feel like you're doing something wrong by closing certain people out, then this is a message that that's not necessarily true. Let people show you who they are through their actions, and rather than just their words. Another message I'm getting here, pile 2, is that people are going to show you who they are through their actions with no work that has to be done on your part. With the yin coming out and then this 5 of crystals, it's like you just have to sit back and do nothing, and people are going to show you exactly who they are. And through that, you're going to be able to know who you can trust and who you cannot. Let's get another card here. Interesting. Here we have no. Wait, postpone, pause, say no. And then here we have Starseed. Underneath that, that was like, what lights you up? And on the bottom of the deck, we had, don't dim to fit in. How are you dimming your light in order to fit in? Which I feel like maybe you have done that in the past, but now you're saying no to a lot of things. You're saying no to a lot of things that don't really resonate you. They don't align with you. And that's because you are definitely more in your feminine energy right now. And I don't mean like, and I don't mean you're, and it's not necessarily a gender thing. It's more being receptive. You're more receptive now. And because you're more receptive, you're more discerning of what you allow into your energy and what you don't allow into your energy. As well as this pause coming through, it's almost like pausing when certain people ask stuff of you or want something for you. You're being more patient, you're pausing, you're waiting before saying yes or no. You're really thinking about it and then giving your answer. So for you, pile 2, I feel like a lot of the messages coming through is sort of like you're already doing what you need to be doing right now. And it's just a matter of balance, and then also making sure not to hinder your creativity by being too closed off, and not to let opportunities pass by because you're being too closed off. And in order to avoid that, that's where this receptive energy comes through. Let's get another card here. Yeah, maybe a bit of uncertainty in this pile, though, in the sense of when to move, when to give, and when to receive. And right now, this is a message that right now you're in a period of receiving. And so you don't need to give anything that you don't want to give. And that's why no is also here. So if you've been wanting to take action on something, this is a message to kind of just wait a little bit. And allow things to come to you. Call certain things in rather than chasing after them. message here for you, though. What you need to know right now, pile 2. Yeah, definitely a message of patience here. Let's see. We have destruction that came out. Interesting. Kind of reminds me of an owl, these eyes, but with destruction and these eyes coming out, it's like certain things are not happening or certain things are falling away from your life because they're not necessarily providing any benefit to you. They're almost hindering you. As well as these eyes are really giving me a message of like being discerning. Like you're being very discerning. I wanted to say this month, but you're just being very discerning right now, and discernment is very important for you right now in order to determine what is eating away at your energy and what is providing you or what is benefiting you. But let me read you the passage from this book. Sorry that your message is kind of like, I feel like it's all over the place. I feel like even pile 1 was like that too. Lots of different messages coming through, so really just take what resonates for you, pile 2, if you chose this pile. I feel like maybe you're searching for something and you haven't necessarily found it, and that's why this is a message to sort of sit back and let it come to you. Definitely more of a waiting period here, pile 2. Some of you may not necessarily like to hear that, but that's because certain things are happening and certain things are falling away to make space for what this wish that you've been trying to call in. That's why certain things may be falling away right now or not working out, stagnating. And that's because certain things are happening so that you will have space for this new wish to enter. And also that's why it's important for you to be in, you know, the more yin energy as well, because that's how you're going to be able to determine what is meant for you to be in your life and what needs to go in order for this new thing to come through. Here we have with destruction, this card indicates that a choice must be made. It asks you what needs to die today. Maybe it is a limiting belief, an old inherited pattern, or a toxic relationship. Whatever it is time to let it go. Sometimes, once we identify what needs to go, it slips easily from us. Other times, it is a slow cycle of releasing and then loosening the grip of our attachment. Be kind to yourself in this process. We establish attachments to things that do not serve us, but knowing something doesn't serve us does not mean it is easy to let it go, especially if it has become a part of our identity. This process requires patience, practice, and self-compassion. Oh, this is an owl. Interesting. So we have here, people can be wary of owls as they have been a symbol of death or a bad omen. But there are so many things about this creature that made it a powerful guide. Owls can turn their head 135 degrees in each direction, giving them 270 degrees of total vision. That's interesting that it says that. It kind of reminds me of what I said of you being more discerning of certain things that you allow into your life. Then we have, this is a testament to their ability in teaching us how to find the truth. Another thing that stands out about the owl is how they eat their prey. They swallow it whole, digest what they can, and then vomit up what cannot be digested. The owl teaches us to distinguish between what supports us and what does not, and then guides us in removing that which we do not need. Exactly. You may also be seeing a lot of owls during this time, a lot of elder, and then a lot of suricite, which is a gemstone. Interesting. Okay, so with Elder we have, Elder has been long associated with darkness and mystery. Elder Wand, anyone, also reminds me of this, the feminine energy, the receptive energy, the yin energy. It rules the last moon of the year when all returns to the earth. The name Elder comes from the Anglo-Saxon word Eald, meaning fire. This is an acknowledgement of the destruction that fire brings, but also the life that fire brings. Yes, that balance. The elder tree holds us in the darkest part of the year and guides us as we move within ourselves. In that way, it supports us during the destructive aspect of the fire. Elderberry can also regenerate easily, even from a fallen branch. In addition to that, every single part of the plant holds potent medicine. In these ways, elder guides us through the renewal that all destruction brings. So yeah, anything that falls away from your life right now, piled to or is falling away, that's because it's making room for something better to come in, something that brings a lot less pain, more positivity. And you're going to be seeing that soon with Lightyear. And when I hear, it also reminds me of Yin with look to the space between the trees for answers. It's almost like when you get into that receptive energy, that's when you're really going to be able to see things from see that light, see things from a different perspective for what they really are. And then we have cerussite. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but that's just how I'm going to say it. Cerussite is one of the densest transparent gemstones on the earth. This density, combined with its clarity, is a symbol of the stone's ability to teach us to hold both death and light. Cerussite is also known for its twin specimens, meaning the stones come in almost a heart-shaped formation. This aspect also points to symmetry of all things in existence. It is the unity of opposites. Cerussite supports us when we feel small in comparison to the darkness. It reminds us that we are both. The symmetry is interesting because both of these cards kind of hold a symmetry along with the scale here, which is a symbol of, symmetry, balance, harmony. So definitely a lot of things are coming into balance for you right now. Pile 2, also balancing your receptive and your active energy. Here we have divine timing. Everything is timing, and timing is everything. Gladly, I release my concern over timing and let things happen when and as they will. Reminds me of this yin. I trust that the divine schedule makers know what they're doing. It can take a long time to reach divine middle management. That's also why this no card is coming out, where it's saying, this is not necessarily saying no for sure, but no right now, because things are still coming together with divine timing. And that's why pause, wait, because there's certain things that still need to be thought over, that still need to be released in order to make room for this new wish. Underneath that, we had follow your heart, joy, and sanctuary. Thank you so much for letting me read for you today, Pile 2. Thank you to Spirit for these messages, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you in the next one. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose the amethyst, then this is your pile. Let's go ahead and take a look at what you need to know right now. What do your spirit guides want to tell you? What do you need to hear? So for your first card, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We have the Hermit in reverse. And we have the Self. And then we have the Six of Crystals, which is the Six of Swords. So let me first address the elephant in the room, which is this card of the Self. I actually forgot to take out, there's 2 extra cards that this particular tarot deck has for the major arcana, and one of them is the Self, and I forgot to take it out. And that's part of the reason why you have 4 cards, as well as the fact that I just felt like pulling 4 cards for you rather than 3 cards like the rest of the piles. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started on your reading and what you need to know right now. First thing I want to say, Pile 3, is that it seems like you're going through a very isolating period in your life right now. You may be requiring a lot of solitude, seeking out a lot of solitude, or it's just been thrust upon you and you're feeling a great sense of loneliness here. For some of you are feeling very lonely because you're in a period of solitude. For others, it's a relief. You like it, you've been wanting it, because it's allowed you to reflect on a lot of things from the past, a lot of things that happened, as well as connect with yourself. There may be certain memories coming up for you during this time, particularly when you were a child. I feel like you've been in this period of reflection and solitude so that because you've experienced tremendous growth here. Even though perhaps you may not feel like you have, but you definitely have. And you're going to see that in the next few months because you're moving past this phase with the Six of Crystals here, which is the Six of Swords. I can't remember if I said that right, but the crystals are swords in this deck. So the Six of Swords, and the Six of Swords is sort of moving from, it's a liminal period, it's a liminal space. You're moving from one ocean to another, I'm hearing, in the sense of also just a picture of the card moving from the ocean onto land. I feel like you're coming back into society or just life. You're gonna be soon living life again, because I feel like in the recent past you've had a long period of solitude, as I'm getting a long period of sticking to yourself, connecting to yourself, redefining who you are and your beliefs, and you're coming back new with a whole new sense of self, a whole new perspective on certain situations and things that have happened in the past. And if that's not currently happening, then it's about to happen. But I feel like for a lot of you, you've been in this period of time, and it hasn't been easy, is the thing. There's been a lot of heavy emotions, a lot of loneliness, perhaps a lot of pain, and I feel like it's been happening so you can release them. Some of you have been may have been like resistant towards certain things, and this is a message to, the faster you allow them in, the faster you allow these certain emotions, memories to come up and to pass through you, the faster you're going to be moving past this situation, this phase in your life, because this is definitely a phase, because this is definitely a big turning point in your life with the Wheel of Fortune coming out and the Hermit, but they're both in reverse. And so that gives me the message that, one, for some of you, you have been doing this work and it's now passing. And two, for some of you, you've been sort of resistant, and that's why it's kind of stayed for a lot longer than it needed to. And that's because you've sort of been resisting this inner work, resisting looking at certain things in your past, looking at yourself and connecting with yourself, connecting with certain parts of yourself and allowing them in without judgment. And it's a message to keep going. You're almost there. You're almost finished with this. And the less resistant you are, the easier it's going to be. But definitely dealing with a lot of heavy emotions, heavy memories, pile three. So it's important that you be patient with yourself, take care of yourself during this time. I'm hearing some of you may be feeling really sleepy during this time, tired, low energy. So it's important that you allow your body and mind to rest. A lot of you may be seeing 2-2, as well as fours, twos and fours. Yeah, because it's almost like this wants to be completed, this period of your life. It wants to move on, but because you've been so some of you, not all of you, but some of you have been quite resistant towards this, that it's permeated, it's stayed longer than it needed to, because you can't ignore this, you can't push past this, you can't distract yourself from this, or it's just going to stay. If you want it to leave, if you want to move past this, then you need to allow these things to come up. Certain painful, specifically I'm seeing certain painful things that have happened in your childhood, teenage years, early adult years, as well as reflecting on certain actions you may have taken, not only things that happened to you, but certain actions that you may have taken. And finally, understanding who you are and your beliefs and your values, and really being aware of who you really are on the inside, rather than going through life on autopilot. I feel like you're definitely in a bit of a transition period here, shedding a lot of things, but also creating a whole new sense of self, I'm hearing. But now I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. So let's go ahead and get some more cards here to give us more insight on what you need to know right now. Let's see. We have here risk. Learn to grow wherever you are planted. And underneath that, we had caution. So that's very interesting that we have caution and risk. So I feel like there's definitely a battle between you right now. Two opposite sides of yourself sort of fighting for control. And these are those parts of wanting to act, wanting to move forward, wanting to progress. And then one part wanting to stay, wanting to reflect. And with risk, learn to grow wherever you are planted. Specifically, learn to grow wherever you are planted is really standing out to me in the sense of some of you do not want to be here. Some of you do not want to be in this place that you're at right now. And I feel like it's more so an internal thing. It could be some physical environment, but for me, it's really an internal state in which you guys are not liking. You don't like it. And if that's the case, this is a message to stop fighting, because this resistance is not it's hindering the process more than it is allowing it to progress. Wow, look at that. We have patience. Everything can be accomplished at nature's pace. Yes, definitely a time of patience for yourself here, pile 3. Humility. Flowers are unaware of each other's beauty. They bloom regardless. Let me get one more here. Blooming where you are planted. Because I feel like some of you would like to escape the situation. You want to go somewhere. But before that can happen, you need to feel it. You need to release it. And in order to release it, you need to be still. You need to be patient and allow it to come out in its own time. So definitely a lot of internal work going on here for you, pile 3. Here we have time. Embracing the dewdrops of life before they disappear with the morning sun. Yeah, definitely going with the flow here, pile 3. Some of you may not want to hear that. Some of you may want to... Some of you, I feel like, want things to happen faster than they are happening. And they're not happening fast for a reason. There's a reason for this. And so it's important that you move with the rhythms of your life right now. If things aren't happening, if things are being a bit slow, then that's a sign for you to also take things slow, to retreat, to be more receptive, to be more reflective, as opposed to times when you are being pushed to act, when you are being pushed to go forward with momentum and things are moving in your favor. I feel like there's going to be certain times where that's the play, but then other times, like right now, it's more effective for you to slow down and to just ride the waves, to just let it take you to where you need to go. Kind of living within the cycles of the moon, I'm seeing as well, where you can see here, we have the crescent moon there, but just in general, where, it's where during the times of the waxing moon, when the moon is growing brighter and brighter each day from the new moon to the full moon, though that's kind of like the time for action. That's the time for actually taking steps to achieve what you want or go where you want, move where you want. And then from the time of the full moon down to the waning moon to the new moon, that is a time of reflection. It's a time to slow down and review everything that has happened in the past that has got you to where you are in this moment, and see what was working, what's not working. And so I feel like right now you're definitely in a time of stillness, a time of patience, but you may feel like you want to go forward. You may want to resist this. And this is a message to just pause a little bit. You don't have to always be moving for things to be happening or for certain things to happen. Let's get another message here. Pile 3. Wow, look at that. Crown chakra, rainbow moonstone, calmness. To calm your monkey mind, do not feed the animal. Yes. I feel like that's exactly what part of what we've been talking about. Definitely more of a calm time right now. A time to connect with your inner being. Pile 3. So some of you may be feeling like you want to meditate more, and that does not necessarily mean sitting down and doing nothing. It could be, if that's the way you like to meditate. It's definitely a very effective and powerful way, but some of you may like to do it a different way. Some of you may like to hike, go on walks, and that's a way to clear your mind. Another of you may like to fish or go on a boat on the water, go to the beach. Anything that allows you to relax and feel a sense of calmness within you, allows you to connect with your inner being. That's going to be very helpful for you to do right now. And some of you may feel resistance towards this. I'm getting like a sense of wanting to move forward, wanting to move past this period, but these are important periods in our life. If we were to move forward constantly, we'd never be able to see where we've come from or how far we've come. So this is definitely an important time, and not a time to try to rush past right now. Pile 3, no matter how much it may hurt or be painful, it's important for you to feel those emotions so that you can release them and so they don't burden you as you move forward into the future. We have here Never Ending Story with 37. Came out in reverse, and 37 is reduced as 10, and we have another 10 here. So yeah, definitely trying to push past some sort of ending, but it's important for you to grieve whatever it is you're releasing here. Pile 3, and not try to rush this grieving process. If some of you are grieving something or releasing some sort of mindset, some sort of way of living. And we have another mirror here. That's interesting that we have another mirror here, or almost like you're refusing or resisting looking at yourself, connecting to yourself, reflecting on certain things, certain decisions you've made. This is also a good time, pile 3, as I mentioned before, to find solitude, to remove yourself from certain situations that bring more drama and baggage into your life that you don't need. That's why we have the Hermit here. You can see that both the Hermit and the Six of Crystals are both alone. There's only a single figure on there, and it's a very both cards of solitude, especially in this deck, because in the Six of Swords in the original in the Rider-Waite deck, there's a mother and her son supposedly, and then somebody rowing the boat. But in this deck, it's a single person, and then we have the Self card come out. So it's very important right now, pile 3, for you to be alone. Is what I'm getting. For you to find points in your day where you can be in quiet, where you can be in solitude, and allow the rest of the world to fall away. That's why we have here she's in the ocean, and up here he's on a mountain. Both places that are kind of far from civilization, far from society. And I feel like in those moments, you're going to find a lot of things come up for you. And they might not necessarily all be joyous moments. There could be a lot of, you can see how this person looks on this card, right? They're devastated. They're not in a good place right now. And I feel like it's okay. It's okay to not be okay. As cliche as that sounds, it's okay to want time for yourself. It's okay to be in a place of grieving. It's okay to feel disconnected from certain things, because you're always going to have yourself. You're always going to be connected to yourself. And that's the one thing that you'll never be able to run away from. So it's important that you make time for it, and you learn about it. You show interest in yourself and who you are. There may be a lot of things that are scaring you right now, maybe certain people, certain places, certain feelings that come up. And it's important for you to feel all your emotions, pile 3, and not try to distract yourself from certain ones or suppress them, because they're always going to be there. And right now is an important time for you to release them. And how do you release them? You allow them to flow through you. You allow yourself to feel certain things that may scare you or that may be uncomfortable. And it's not an easy process. It's definitely not an easy process. And that's why there's a lot of messages of you really taking care of yourself at this moment, because you're going through a very heavy period, I feel like internally and energetically. It could also be physically in your environment. But for a lot of you, it's an internal thing. We have the golden children that came out. Inner child, tenderness, innocence, rare gifts, yes. So a lot of things from your childhood may be coming up as well. Underneath the deck, we had inner temple. Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Yes, definitely important for you to tune into yourself, your heart, and create a sacred space that you can just be yourself, and you don't have to put on a mask for other people or cater to other people's needs and wants from you, where you can just be yourself without any restriction, without any burden or baggage on you. And so with this card, this is really a message of how can you treat yourself gently and tenderly right now? How can you give yourself the most sacred space for you to be able to heal and reflect and connect to yourself? That's the biggest message here. What can you do to create a ritual or space in your life to allow not only your inner child, but just yourself to come through without having to filter it to cater to society or other people, and allow it to bloom? There's some part of yourself, pile 3, that wants to be seen. It wants to be seen by you. It wants to be acknowledged by you. And it wants to be shown to the greater world once you feel you are safe and calm enough to be able to do that. Because I feel like there's some part of you that's been suppressed and that's trying to come out. It could be your inner child. It doesn't have to be. It's just somewhere where you feel like you're not good enough. It could just be your entire sense of self in that sense wanting to come out. So definitely a big message of learning to connect with yourself here, pile 3. Some part of you that wants to be seen right now. And that's why it's important for you to find certain quiet spaces so that it can feel safe enough to come out. Look, we have ask body. Right off the bat, I'm being drawn to this eye here. It's kind of like the crown chakra. Oh, didn't we have crown chakra that came out? Yeah, so definitely receiving a lot of downloads to your crown chakra, or opening it up through this process, allowing things to be released through your body. So definitely pay attention to your body right now at this moment and what it needs. Nourish it the way you would nourish a child. You wouldn't let a child, whatever you wouldn't let a child do because it's not good for them, it's not healthy for them, you need to be doing that for yourself as well. And for your inner child. But let me read the message for you from this book, pile 3. And this is an earth card. Look what we have here. We have north, winter, stillness, stability, body, resource, shadow. And I feel like this is definitely a very still part of your life right now. And that's why it's requiring patience. It's taking time to get through, and you're being asked to just let it flow. Try not to resist it as much as you can. In spiritual work, the body is often overlooked. There is a tendency to go higher rather than go deeper. This card encourages you to enter a dialogue with your body. Our physical body holds all of our experiences, our heart, mind, and spirit. It also has inherited significant experiences and traumas that have passed on in our lineage. To dialogue with the body is to get to the root of the matter where our minds can only guess. Yes, definitely releasing a lot of things when it comes to your body. So you may be doing certain like somatic exercises, yoga, qigong, other things that are allowing energy to flow better through your body and releasing a lot of traumatic heavy energy. And that's why it feels like a very still time right now. Not a lot, there's not a lot I feel like there's not a lot going on in your life. It may be very still, very stagnant, maybe going through the same thing every day. Here we have an exercise here if some of you want to try this out. It says, sit or lie comfortably, bringing attention to your breath. Let your body relax and clear your mind. Then imagine dropping into your body. If there is a specific place you want to go, a place that holds tension or dis-ease, go there. Otherwise, drop into your core. Ask your body any questions that come to mind. If there's anything you need guidance with or unsure of, bring that to mind. See what it says. Deepening the relationship with one's body will always be beneficial. It will provide you a safe space where you can retreat to when you need assistance. Interesting. And we have Jaguar. These may be certain signs or things energies you may want to work with. The Jaguar, Ash Tree, and then Hematite. So we have the Jaguar is an ally in working with the unknown and reclaiming our power. Definitely reclaiming your power right now, pile 3. Look, it is a solitary animal. That's why you're requiring solitude at this place, or at this time. So they are the perfect ally for doing body work. When diving into our physical self, there is a sense of being alone, and no other person lives in your body, and no one else has lived the experiences that are held within it. When things arise in our lives, we can find healers, teachers, gurus, and friends who can all hold space for us. But to go inside our body is not only more powerful, it is more intimate, for it is your wisdom and yours alone. Pile 3. And that's an important message for you, I feel like, pile 3, because nobody knows you like you do, like you know yourself. So really during this period, you're being asked to learn about yourself through your body, through certain exercises of your body, and being more aware of your body, allowing emotions and energies to flow through your body. So some of you may be awakening your certain clairsentient abilities as well. And then we have, for many, this can be a scary experience. The journey is illuminating, but can also shake things up that need to be looked at, creating a raw energy within us. Call upon the spirit of the Jaguar as an ally to dive deeper within yourself, and especially when you fear opening up and meeting the unknown within you. Then we have Ash. The Ash tree can support us in connecting to all the cells and experiences held in our body. The ash is known for how deeply it roots into the earth, which makes it an amazing ally in reaching into our bodies for wisdom. Call upon the ash as an ally to explore the past, present, and future within your body. It holds the things we remember and many things we don't. Our past lives also manifest in our current body. Ash can teach us how to tap into all the energies held within our physical self and release them if they no longer serve us, or it can help us truly embody the lessons they hold. And this is also why some of you may be feeling a bit more tired or exhausted lately, and that's because you're moving a lot of heavy energies within your body in order to release them. And then lastly, we have hematite. Hematite is a very grounding and protective stone. It is especially useful for bodywork in the way that it brings the spiritual and intuitive energies into the body so that they can physically manifest. So many spiritually minded people struggle with integration and staying connected with their body. Hematite calls you back into yourself. When doing body journey work, it creates a container for seamless integration within the wisdom you return with. Ask hematites to support you in remaining grounded within your body as you expand within your spiritual practice. Yes, and that's also probably why you chose the amethyst as well, because the amethyst can be a big crystal helpful in spiritual growth as well. So definitely going through a very spiritually expanding time right now, even though you may not necessarily see it at the moment. But lastly, pile 3, let me get an affirmation for you all. You guys can use during this period. Definitely being asked to find some solitude here so that you can better connect with your body and then allow certain past emotions, whether they are certain past emotions. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But certain past emotions, specifically those from your childhood, past lives, if that's something that you believe in, and heavy energies going through your body right now, that may be why you're feeling a bit down, a bit exhausted, a bit more tired. It's because you're doing a lot of internal work right now. And if you're not actively doing that, it's still happening, and you're being asked to become more aware of it and allow and to release any resistance you have in regards to certain memories that may come up, certain feelings that may come up, maybe feeling random pangs, random sadness. And that's because certain things are coming up for you to become aware and release them. We have wonder. It's a wonderful thing to be in a state of wonder. And when I'm a good audience to my life becomes better and better theater. When something delightful happens, I can shout encore and be tickled when it happens again. When something maddening happens, I can laugh it off. Either way, I'm glad I got a ticket to the show. Interesting. So this also reminds me of sort of this golden children card of viewing your life in the eyes of a child. And as well as here, I learned to grow wherever you are planted, and just releasing, surrendering. You're being asked to just surrender to this time. That's the word I'm looking for. Just surrender to this time. I'm sorry if you can hear screaming in the background. Take each day as it comes and allow it to pass. But that is all I am seeing for you, pile 3. Thank you for letting me read for you today. Thank you to Spirit for these messages. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.